Question for the men. Why is it that men nowadays don't approach women in public anymore? I feel like back in the day it was so common for men to walk up to women, have a little conversation, maybe ask them out on a date, but nowadays that does not seem to be a thing anymore. Why?
If you would date an over 40-year-old woman, just say yes. Because, at this point, these 18-year-olds are making fun of me by not asking me for my phone number, but for my email instead. Serious question for my mans out there. Why are you guys not approaching women? What is that about? What is that about? I have seen so many hot guys lately, and we make eyes, we exchange the look, we have the look, and then there's nothing else. I'm like, are you gonna come approach me? Hello, I don't want to be the one to approach you, okay? Because that's not my man's. My man's has, the balls that he has, and he's not afraid to come up to me and say something, say hello. So if you're a man out there, you guys have balls for a reason. Use them. And don't be afraid to approach women, because we don't want to do that, This is just a pro tip, okay? Chime in.
Something that no one ever talks about. When men found out all it takes is $150 for one night with the woman of your dreams, it completely changed the game. It completely changed the game and changed the whole dating pool. I know dudes that used to want to be a husband and all these kind of things, and now they don't want to go to the gym no more. They don't want to brush their hair. They don't go to church. They don't go nowhere. They don't want to go out. They don't even want to go on dating apps for looking for women. All they want to do is go to work and wait till they check come and take $150 and go find them the woman of their dreams for that night.
The most haunting ghost is the one you created yourself. The man she took for granted. The one who always answered, always showed up, always forgave. Vanished one day without a syllable, and the silence is louder than any argument they ever had. She kept testing whether he'd always be there. He answered the test by no longer being there. The reliability she abused turned out to have a cancel button. If you've ever been the man who finally hit cancel, subscribe to Alpha Reloaded. This chapter's for you.
The reason why women regret losing a good man is because she realizes that she was actually the problem, but her immaturity blinded her from actually seeing that and loving him correctly. The best way to get a woman to regret losing you is by being a good person who's genuine, honest, words matching your actions, good character, and you just take care of yourself and you're confident. If you can do all of that while you're with her and after you are with her, yeah, you're a success. And to the people telling me, oh, this doesn't work for me, that doesn't work for me, that's because that's the reality that you have. And you are literally insecure. That's why you're saying that things aren't working out for you and that women don't like you and that women don't find you attractive, is because you already think that. And when you have that mindset, women are repulsed by it. So obviously it doesn't work for you because you talk down on yourself on the internet to strangers.
Y'all already just fumbled one of the most sweetest men that I have ever met. When y'all come into these dating relationships, y'all really gotta have y'all shit together. Especially when you got a good person by your side, a person that's willing to deal with your bullshit. And when I say a person that's willing to deal with your bullshit, some of y'all gotta understand the difference between consistently causing drama and chaos in somebody's life and just the day-to-day BS that you got going on. So we have finally got to a space in our relationship where things was really going smooth. And because I had so much shit going on in my life and I did not know how to regulate my emotions, I ended up losing a good man. Not only that, my attitude, my mood swings was off the roof. And yes, y'all gonna say like, oh, well, that's what comes with being a girl. No, you need to learn how to control that. Because everybody is not going to want to deal with your attitudes and your mood swings all the time. Y'all, it really took me to be selfless and to understand that if I did not give our relationship a break, I would literally have been his downfall. If we stay together, I may be the reason why we break up and probably never talk again. And I could really sit here and take accountability for the simple fact that I was really the problem. And now that I know that, I'm going to work on myself because I know that I want this man and I'm going to get what I want. But I know that he deserves a better side of me. He deserves a healed, calm side of me. Ladies, it's okay to admit that you were the one that fumbled a good man.
Taking a good man for granted works flawlessly, until the day it doesn't. Every unanswered effort, every dismissed gesture, every "he'll get over it," quietly accumulated in a ledger she didn't know he was keeping. Men don't usually announce they've reached the limit. They just reach it, close the book, and walk. The straw that broke the camel's back was invisible to her because she never bothered counting the load.
What happened to men pursuing girls? When was the pivotal moment that a man chose to not go after a girl anymore and put in any effort? It seems like guys can just put the bare minimum and not even really put in effort anymore. They don't really care to. Or they're like, why don't girls just go and make the first move and make the effort? When did it become a thing? Now it's like role reversal where they expect girls to be making the first moves, yearning for a guy and chasing him. That is, I feel like, the downfall of why it's so hard to meet someone, because men don't put in effort.
There's plenty of pivotal moments. How about when a woman called a man weak for opening her car door? Or the time that men pursued women on dating apps and him saying, "Hey, how are you?" wasn't good enough? How about the pivotal moment when a man is looking out into the open and happens to glance in a woman's direction and somehow he's undressing her with his eyes? Or how about the moment when women considered everything the bare minimum and nothing is ever good enough? Or what about the pivotal moment where men have to fix everything in a relationship to make it work and women have to simply exist? Or how about the time there was a study done that said 80% of women find men unattractive, so why would they try anymore? Or the pivotal moment where men can be accused of SA or grape at any given moment by accident just because a woman is pissed off because she was rejected? Or what about the pivotal moment that women have constantly told men that they're so undesirable that they would rather pick a bear over a human being, as if men don't have feelings? Or how about the pivotal moment that every single man that ever chased a woman was considered a simp and women simply didn't respect them or want to be with them because they're chasing and they're trying too hard? What about the pivotal moment when the nice guy gets left because he's not toxic enough? Or what about the pivotal moment where men can't even simply be respectful without it being considered creepy or too friendly? Or what about the time that women decided that not even Cheesecake Factory was good enough for a first date? That they didn't want to get to know men for who they are. They wanted to know how much money they made and their status. And I don't know about you, but that doesn't sound worth chasing. Okay, bye.
Story time. Here are 5 things that my ex did in my last relationship that has honestly slightly traumatized me and made me not want to get in a relationship again. It's been a while since I've talked about like dating and relationships, so I thought this would be a fun one. Let's go. He was perfect the first 2 months, like they all are. And then the cracks started forming on the very first girls' trip I went to Mexico. I posted a picture in my bikini. It wasn't even sexual. I got obliterated from him for that. He was so jealous, so upset I was there. I feel like no matter how much I checked in on him, he thought I was out doing something weird, which honestly, that should have been my first sign. We got into a huge fight. I honestly thought we were going to break up from that because I was so upset. He like ruined my girls' trip. But he ended up making up for it, and so I stayed with him. Shouldn't have done that. I wasn't, quote, allowed to go to a gym that had a sauna that was co-ed with boys. Obviously, I am my own person, and I'm going to do what I want to do. But this created so much tension. I will never forget when he got mad at me for being in a sauna after a workout, asked me if there were guys in there too, and I said, yeah, like one just came in, but we didn't even talk. We got into the biggest fight. And I was like, you can't tell me I can't go to a certain gym just because men exist there. My best friend is gay, and he didn't want to meet him. Took a very long time, probably 6 months, to get my boyfriend to meet my gay best friend. When they did meet, we left that experience and got into a huge fight because he was like, you weren't touching me as much. You weren't blah, blah, blah as much. And I was like, what are you talking about? We were all hanging out, having a good time. He's like, something was off. Something's off. Maybe there's something between you guys. And I was like, you're fucking crazy. Oh, here's another one. We were on a family vacation in Catalina Island with his family. We were having so much fun, like the time of our lives, right? And him and I were grocery shopping for our hotel room, and some guy walked up to me while my boyfriend was in the bathroom and was like complimenting me and saying like, you're so pretty, all this stuff. And I told him I had a boyfriend, and he left, and that was that. My then boyfriend comes out of the bathroom and he's like, why were you talking to that guy? And I'm like, oh no, he just came up to me. He complimented my tattoo and we talked for like 2 seconds and I told him I had a boyfriend and he went on his own way. Instead of being like, oh yeah, my girlfriend's hot, like someone came and like wanted to chat up with her and was like proud of that, he got mad at me. So for the next like 2 days of the trip, I was getting like the silent treatment. He was being super rude to me, like ruined the trip, honestly. The last one that did it for me was when he ruined my son's birthday, but that's a whole story that I don't even have time to get into.
The man who vanishes after being taken for granted isn't being dramatic. He's being final. He gave the relationship every chance while she treated those chances as infinite. There's a specific kind of quit that happens when a man stops being angry and just goes numb. That's the dangerous one. Anger can be argued with. Numbness already packed its bags and ordered the Uber.
You know, sometimes you reminisce on the embarrassing mistakes you made in your past relationship, the moments where you really abandon yourself and you look back and you're like, oh my God, why didn't I stand up for myself more? And I can't believe I was low-key such a doormat with this person. First of all, sure, you made some mistakes, but let's be honest, okay? Shaming ourselves isn't really going to help all too much. Like, be nice to yourself around that. And also, that was never your man anyway. That was not your man. He was never actually your man. Do you know what I mean? You're not meant to end up with him. No matter like how perfectly you would have behaved or like the standards you could have held, he was never going to be your man anyway. So take it as a practice round. Add it to the experience board. Do better next time. And trust that you're on your path. You're on your path to where you actually need to be, where you actually need to land. Okay? It was just a tormented pit stop.
Since I've gotten a lot of engagement across my videos around why men are not approaching women and the ways that I've been exploring this topic, a friend of mine actually sent me a video. It was like 25 minutes where this narrator was talking about like 11 different reasons as to why men will not approach anymore. To summarize, they kind of boil down to the fear of being called creepy, how now rejection is something that happens in public, not in private, can also risk, a man's reputation because women can sometimes twist a story or make men out to look like the bad guy when they were just trying to put themselves out there. The video also talked about how technology has like stifled us socially and we've lost the skill set to approach in public. Another one was about how there's now mixed messages around what's appropriate depending on the subjective perspective of whether or not someone's attractive, which I've definitely seen a lot of comments on this app about, like, oh, well, it's not creepy if I'm, an attractive person, but it's creepy if I'm not considered attractive. Also, another big one was around how cultural narratives have now shifted, like women expecting men to approach, but then at the same time being very standoffish and not like showing that they want to be approached. So it's giving men mixed messages. Like, all of these reasons, and I'm summarizing very quickly here, but literally all of them honestly make sense. And it makes me really sad because I do think that to a degree, women do play a part in confusing men. Like, I'm here on this app being like, approach in public, approach at the gym. We want you to do all these things. But then men are hearing my videos and they're like, what are you talking about? Like, women don't want that. Women have explicitly told us we don't want that. And I'm sure there are some women out there that probably have said that. And I am, on this app saying the complete opposite thing. So of course it must be confusing and infuriating for most of you. But what I would hope you take away with at the end of the day is that you cannot control other people. All you can do is control yourself. And if you know that you are acting with respect and with kindness towards someone and you have the best of intentions and you're doing something in a way that is not making someone feel unsafe physically or emotionally, like that is the best you can do. And if someone is not vibing, they're just not your cup of tea and you are not their cup of tea, and that's fine. And you just have to learn to walk away and to move forward and to not let the continuous like rejections or things that like don't feel good stop you from continuing to put yourself out there. Like, that is it. You just have to keep putting yourself out there and shooting your shot and being okay with things not going your way all the time.
He gave me no warning, is the recurring complaint, and it's almost true. There was no final warning because the warnings came earlier, months of them, ignored, dismissed, filed under, he's just being needy. The man doesn't owe a farewell tour to someone who skipped every prior episode. The warning was the whole season. She just wasn't watching until the finale aired with no encore.
Why do men get so mad when you call them out on something that they did or are doing? For example, I went on a date with this guy maybe like a month or two ago, month and a half ago, and it was great. Like, it was good. And then we both like told each other like what we wanted and blah blah blah. Then he ends up effing up and just disappears. Then you get a message from him saying, hey, can we talk? And he apologizes, right? So I give him another chance because I think everyone deserves a second chance. So then we ended up just talking for another like 2 weeks, whatever, disappears. Then decided to text me 2 weeks later. Babe. I said, no, stop. He goes, okay. I didn't answer him. Texted me the next morning. Hey, babe. I go, no, stop. He goes, how's your day going? I said, no. He goes, stop being an ass. No. I said, I don't understand you. How do you go from, like, I gave you another shot, and then you're gonna just disappear again? And then just come back whenever you feel like it and expect me to still be there? No. If you, maybe a few years ago, I would have. But no. Okay. Then proceeds to say, be ready on Saturday at 1 o'clock. I said, no. He goes, yes. I said, no. He goes, I'll pick, no. No. So then I ended up calling him out because I'm like, you expect me to be there after your little 2-week disappearance and then come back after I gave you another shot? What? Like, just because your other girlfriends didn't work out doesn't mean I'm gonna constantly be there. Then proceeds to say, I'm willing to go out and try this out, see where it goes. I said, no. So I called him out. And I said, I don't even know. I sent like these things. I said to him, stop playing with me like I'm a freaking doll or something. Like, you're constantly playing with my head. This is why this generation is the way it is. Then goes, this is why this would never work. This is why this never work. Because I'm calling you out on what you did. I want to show messages so bad. But I'm not going to. Because every man thinks it's always the girls. And it's not. It's not. I'm like, you text me every 2 weeks. I said, you think any girl is putting up with that? You text me for 2 weeks and then disappear. Then text me another 2 weeks later. And say, hey, babe. You men really have to, like, get it together. Because this is crazy in 2026. Really crazy as you're almost 30 years old. I don't understand.
Please do not take a good guy for granted. I have noticed that a lot of women nowadays, if they are in a relationship, they might start taking a good guy for granted. If you are in a relationship with a decent guy who treats you well, who understands maybe your feelings of when you are upset and you feel that you can actually talk to him and he treats you great, please do not take advantage of that. Cherish it and be grateful for what you do have. Because the truth is, nowadays, a lot of men simply don't put in the work to make a relationship work. And a lot of the time, they don't even want a relationship. So if you're actually in a relationship with a guy who's good to you, enjoy it, and don't go looking for other men.
The haunting sets in when she does the math and realizes the man she discarded was the best one she had. Stable, loyal, patient, the exact qualities she found boring until they were gone, and the boredom turned out to be peace. Now she's comparing every new option to the ghost she evicted, and they all come up short. You never miss the water till the well walks off and builds a better life.
I hate that men don't approach women anymore and ask them for their number in a polite way. I hate that I'm deemed as on the shelf at 31 and being single with no kids. I hate that I've been told I left it too long because I've been single for a long time. And I hate that I would have been judged if I would have got in a relationship if I was really young. I hate that people judge me for having no children because I'm 31 and I won't settle down with the absolute stranger and someone who just gives me the bare minimum. I hate that people think I've got high standards because I won't settle for the bare minimum. I hate the fact that I am independent and masculine, and I hate the fact that there's not enough masculine men to make me feminine and give that feminine side. I hate the fact that I don't go out and I don't drink and I'm deemed as boring. And I hate the fact that if I do go out, it's all of the wrong attention. I hate the fact that I have to go on dating apps and I can't meet someone organically. And I hate the fact that everyone is superficial, cares about materialistic things and the way that people look rather than what's beneath. I hate the fact that as a woman I have to worry about scars, cellulite, lumps and bumps and get anxious every time I've got a new partner. And I hate the fact that I have to basically make all of the effort when it comes to men in terms of getting them to arrange a date and they don't just think of it all by themselves. And I hate it all and I'm feeling really sad today. Like I'm just feeling like what happened to the world? Like I was born in the wrong era. I'm supposed to be a 60s, 70s, 80s baby. Like this life isn't for me. I don't like it. I don't like this world. I don't like what's become of the dating world. I just don't like it. And I can't see a light at the end of the tunnel. And I just don't know what to do.
Seeing him thrive without her is the part that genuinely haunts. He's not in shambles. He's not crawling back. He's lighter, freer, and visibly better off, which demolishes the comforting story that he needed her more than she needed him. Turns out the dead weight in the relationship had a name, and it wasn't his. He didn't lose his anchor. He cut it loose and finally started sailing.
This is how you lose a good man fast, because some of you are praying for the man of your dreams, but when he shows up, you're the one driving him away. The fastest way to repel a man of value is disrespect. If you embarrass him, talk down to him in front of others, he is done. Men will tolerate a lot, but they will not tolerate a woman who kills their respect. The second way is chaos. If being with you feels like a full-time job filled with drama, constant arguments, mood swings, and tests, he will not stay. A man of value does not want a second battlefield at home. He wants peace. And the third way, controlling everything. If you won't let him lead, won't trust him to make decisions, won't respect him as a whole man, then what's the point? He is not going to fight for you. He'll just leave. See, you can be beautiful, successful, and independent, but if you are disrespectful, chaotic, and controlling, no man of value will stick around. They just won't. He doesn't need to. He has options, and he will walk away from a woman who drains him. So if you really want to attract and keep the man of your dreams, don't be the woman who destroys him. Be the woman who builds him up. Be the woman who adds peace, respect, admiration, and passion, because the truth is, high-value men don't waste their time where they are not valued. And if you don't get that right, you won't just repel him. You're going to lose him forever and be alone with your cats.
The acceptance never fully arrives, which is what makes it a haunting instead of a closure. The man who vanished without a word, left no thread to pull, no door to knock on, no number that still works. He's a permanent open question in her mind, and a permanently closed chapter in his. He's not haunted by her. He's sleeping fine. The ghost only walks one direction in this story.
Hi everyone. Walk with me on the track while I tell you the story about how I egregiously fumbled a man. And when I say the time, I mean it literally happened today. Okay, so let me set the scene for you. So, 2 weeks ago, my friend Hannah is in like this class, and she's like, yo, like this guy he's like kind of your type, like I feel like he's cute, like maybe you should like reach out. And I was like, sure, I'm not scared of men, so I was like, YOLO. And I DM him, we find his Instagram, we follow him at the same time, like we don't make this subtle at all. The men are like stupid, so He didn't even put 2 and 2 together, but we'll talk about that later. Anyway, so I follow him. I see that he has like Instagram highlights of him playing piano. So I sent him a video of me playing We Are Charlie Kirk on the piano. And I didn't send any, I don't know, my Riz is really stupid, guys, like don't hate. But I click send. I don't send any context. I literally just send the video. And he like eats it up. He's like, wow, like you were so good at piano. And I was like, oh my God, thanks. And because I low-key mogged him in piano, like he's definitely a beginner. He said he started to like over winter break. So I was like, I can tell, but that's okay, King, live your truth. So we start talking a little bit like throughout these 2 weeks, but it's very like, he answers very like 3 to 5 business days, which is fine. Like people are busy and like he doesn't owe me anything. So I kind of took that as a sign that he's not like that interested. So I was like, you know what, that's okay. Like I'll just take the L and move on, find another huzz. But then our DMs kind of start to pick up this past Saturday. And we're like talking about like random stuff. Like he's like, oh, I see you go to the gym, because I post ass pics on my Instagram all the time. And I was like, yeah, I do. And so then we start talking about my TikTok, because he's like not very chronically online. Like he didn't really even catch like my Charlie Kirk video because he's not chronically online. So I was like, oh, okay, which is fine. Like that's okay, a green flag. Like I'm the red flag in this case because I am chronically online. And I'm like showing him my TikToks that have gone viral, and he was like, what the fuck am I watching? And then he called me hella unique and that like nobody's on my wavelength. And I was like, yeah, true, King. So anyway, we like fall asleep Saturday, and again we end with like talking about my TikToks, right? I wake up Sunday Easter morning. Oh my God. I wake up to him responding to like a text that I had like from the gym conversation. Like he had to scroll up to find this message where I'm like, oh, you're jealous because I lat pull down 110. Like that's what I said, like something like goofy like that. And subtle flex, by the way. Oh my God. And he was like, why would I be jealous? And he sent me the most beautiful, oh my God, I never saved something to my camera roll so fucking fast, because this was on Instagram DM, so like they're not gonna snitch. And beautiful ab pics, 8-pack, back pics, beautiful front facing pics, like stomach, like shoulders and like biceps showing. Oh my God, like the most beautiful, like, oh my God, like I've never talked to a more jacked man in my life. So I was like, holy shit, holy sleeper build, because I told Hannah, and she was like, oh my God, I didn't even know he had all that. Like he does not show like that at all. I'm actually off the track now, but he sent me those beautiful pictures I've ever seen. And I said, happy Easter to me, please give me your phone number. And I never beg a man for anything, but holy shit, I needed him so bad in that moment. I'm not even ovulating. But then get this, I'm still undelivered. Mind you, this was Sunday morning, it's Wednesday. And I kind of fumbled though. Well, I did fumble, but I'll explain. Sorry, looks like there's an earthquake because I'm walking down the stairs. Tuesday rolls around and I'm low-key desperate as fuck, so I email him my phone number. Was that the best move? Probably not. But you know what? It's not a complete blunder, I fear, because I feel like that's Riz, personally. But maybe a little desperate, but Riz nonetheless. But it didn't work, so actually it was a complete blunder. And today, Wednesday rolls around, and my friend Hannah's in lab with him, and she is like, should I talk to him? Like, he's right here. And I was like, I don't know, because you have never talked to this man before, and like, that might be weird. And she was like, no, it's fine. And I was like, okay, if you like are really brave and feel like it, because Hannah's a really timid person, so I was like, if you have the balls to do it, sure. I don't even know what you're gonna say to him, but go for it. And she goes up to him and she's like, hey, do you go on Instagram a lot? And he was like, no, not really, why? And she was like, well, you should check your Instagram. And he was like, okay. And walked away. And I was like, bro, Hannah, why did you say that in the most creepiest like way possible? And she was like, yeah, you're right, I feel bad. So then after class, she like went up to him and was like, hey, sorry, like I was just sorry if that came off wrong, like I was asking for my friend. And he was like, is your friend Josie? Fucking killing myself, bro. Fucking killing myself. At least I know he has no other hoes, because yeah. So yeah, and she was like, yeah. And he was like, oh, I didn't know you guys knew each other or something, even though we literally followed him at the same time, but whatever. And then Hannah like got nervous and talked about like the lab and stopped talking about me. So he still hasn't DM'd me today, so I'm pretty sure I completely fumbled. He hasn't blocked me, but never say never. Like, I don't know, I feel like I have that effect on men. So yeah, let me know if I pray for me, guys. I wonder if there's any hope left for me.
A man who finally goes numb is more gone than a man who's angry, Protect your peace before you reach that point. For men, communicate your limits on, clearly, and if they're ignored, leave clean without the farewell tour. You don't owe a warning to someone who slept through all the earlier ones. Your presence is a privilege, not a fixture. Subscribe to Alpha Reloaded for more. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and hit that like button on your way out. See you next time.